God, it is bright out here. I'm ready to tell you a story. I have too many bad doctor experiences, bad doctor stories. I have spent pretty much the last 10-11 years of my life in the doctors. No, I'm not a hypochondriac, but that comes into play with this story. 2 years ago, in late July, early August, I began to have what I thought was a stomach bug. I let it ride out. 3 weeks later, I was still very sick. I went from 100 and almost 80 pounds to 160 something in just a matter of like 4 weeks. It was very alarming. It was very scary. I didn't know what was going on. My mom didn't know what was going on. Everyone thought I had an eating disorder because I could not keep my food in. Oh, you know, fast forward. I decide to try a gluten-free diet. So this is around late August, early September. I'm like, I have lost like 25 pounds. I think I need to do something here. So I started a gluten-free diet. It seemed to really help for a few months. I got kidney stones in November of 2015. I was very ill with them for a long, extended period of time. It wasn't like I started feeling better in a couple of weeks. I got them in November and didn't start to feel well until mid-January. In February, late February, was when I started again with stomach problems, and I was constantly in the bathroom doing number 2. Yeah, it was disgusting. I hated it. In 2016 was when I decided it would be probably the best idea to go to a gastro doctor, right? She focuses on this area of your body. She said, all right, we're gonna do 3 tests. Keep in mind, guys, this woman is a well-known great gastro doctor, and she completely screwed me money-wise. I did the first test, which was the endoscopy, which is when they put you to sleep and they put a little thing down your throat. It gets biopsy and takes some pictures or whatever it does. So she was doing this for 2 reasons. 1, to see if I had Crohn's disease, which I don't. And 2, to see if I have celiac disease, which she claims that I don't. And she basically thought I was a hypochondriac and that I was just lying about all of my symptoms, about everything that I'm feeling. And it was bizarre too, because a lot of my symptoms did match up with Crohn's disease as well. Thank God I don't have Crohn's disease. But she was basically dumbing down what I was going through because it wasn't Crohn's disease. Now, I want to get into this. This is where I think she really, really screwed me. I told this woman several times, many times, probably like 15 times in a matter of 40 minutes. I'm like, I have not eaten gluten for over a year, or almost a year. At that point, it was almost a year that I have not eaten gluten. I was thinking this, I didn't actually vocalize this, but I'm like, will this test even show anything because I'm not eating gluten? But then I thought, well, if you have celiac disease, it probably doesn't matter. It probably just shows up in your small intestine that it's messed up. So I didn't really vocalize this, but she did the test anyway. And she said I don't have celiac disease. And then she was kind of, the whole time before she did this test, she was acting as if I do eat gluten, and she was trying to insinuate that I do, which was, we did 2 more tests with this woman. Both of them were practically the same exact thing, equally costing $700, $800 each, on top of the endoscopy, which was over $1,000. Lord. So I went to this other stomach doctor, right? And he was fabulous. He asked me all these questions because the other doctor was only treating me for mild gastritis. She asked me tons of questions, and I answered all of them. I think she thought that I was talking out my ass and completely bullshitting her, because I was like, no, I'm literally in the bathroom every single time I eat something or drink something. Every single time. So I am pooping 10 times a day, easily, which isn't a great thing, right? But she kind of blows it off like it's no big deal. So this other doctor is asking me all these questions, right? And he gets done asking me, and they're pretty similar to the ones that she was asking me. And he looks at me and he says, Amber, you have IBS-D. And I said, oh, that's why I can't eat anything. And why I went from 180 pounds to 135. Real quick. And he seemed actually kind of irritated that the other doctor didn't want to tell me this, because she knew damn well I have IBS, but she didn't want to tell me I have IBS. So I was struggling for months with my stomach after her bullshit, and she didn't even tell me I have IBS. And she screwed me with all this money doing pretty much the same tests over and over and over again. Wanted to act like I don't have celiac disease when I probably do, because I get every single symptom of a gluten allergy when I have gluten or wheat or anything. So it runs in my family. I'm not talking out my ass. I know what my body is doing. And I was telling him everything that happens when I have gluten and all that. And he's like, that is bizarre that the test came out negative. And then I said, well, I haven't eaten gluten for over, a year and a half. And she did the test on me. And his face was like, I said, wait, what is the problem? And he said, Amber, you have to be eating gluten for at least 8 weeks to be able to test the intestines for that. You can't tell me. This gastro doctor, this well-known gastro doctor, didn't know this and wasn't just scamming me for money. So I did, more research to back up his statement, and every single thing I read was you have to be eating gluten for at least 8 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, or, you have to be doing this because that's how we're going to see how it's affecting your intestines. Guys, do you know how expensive that freaking endoscopy was? Do you have any idea? Oh, God, we were paying that off for like over a year. He was kind of angry, actually. So he put me on this medication for my IBS. That's the reason why I can usually eat. I don't understand. Can someone please explain to me why doctors do this? Because I know she isn't the only doctor that has done this in her career. Like, yeah, let me just scam this poor patient, this poor girl who is so ill, so pale, so anemic. P.S. didn't tell me I was anemic. He told me I was anemic by looking at my blood results. He basically said, well, the problem is with IBS is iron can sometimes really irritate the IBS. So I'm kind of up shit's creek, right? Like, I'm anemic and I have IBS. I probably have celiac disease, but I don't want to get tested for it again because I cry at the thought of having to eat gluten again. It made me so puffy. Oh my God, I was constantly pooping. I was so ill. I was so pale. Oh, it like freaks me out to think about. No. Like, I could never do that gluten challenge they make certain people do to test their problems down there. I wish I could go back there just to like yell at her and be like, what the really? Like, IBS is terrible too. People lose like 100 pounds and don't know why, and they can't keep any food, and it's petrifying. You lose your hair. That's why I cut my hair this short, guys, because I was losing so much hair, and it was so scary for me. I normally had such healthy, thick hair, and I wasn't keeping any of it in my head. It's scary symptoms. Yeah. I wish doctors would stop dumbing down IBS because it's very serious, and I wish they would actually treat the patients for IBS because, yes, the medication has a lot of side effects, as I have told you guys, but I would rather be medicated than not, and not be able to keep any food in and be so sick and so ill all the time with terrible stomach aches that make me end up in the hospital. I don't... My God. I just, God bless. I will tell you guys plenty more. I should make this a series. Bad doctor experiences. I love you guys. Please like, subscribe, share with your buddies. I put out new videos every week. I will talk to you as soon as I can. Have a great Saturday and great Sunday too. I have a ton of videos recorded, so you will get to see my face a lot, even if you don't like it. Alright. Bye guys.